Welcome to practice. I'm Casey and this is May, and today we are going to be doing another video in our Yinneagram series that is Yin Yoga for the Enneagram. Today is Type 8, the Challenger or the Dragon. I am still having continued modifications because of my hand. So because of this, I actually asked my husband if he would join me for practice today, as there were just some postures that I knew I really couldn't get into and some transitions that was going to be really difficult for me or hurt me. And he agreed to help me do practice today. So in addition to being the mastermind behind editing my videos as well as messing with all of the audio, he is starring in my video today. So kind of keep an eye a little bit more on him than me, because he's doing the postures the way that they're generally intended to be done, and I'm doing modifications. So if you're in a hurt hand boat like I am, then watch me. If you haven't already watched my intro to the series video on my channel page, I would suggest at some point you watch that, as I go into a lot more about the Enneagram than I do in these videos. Also, I discuss the way that I put the videos on my channel. The passion or sin of the Enneagram Type 8 is lust. And like I've said with most of the other Enneagram types, this word just doesn't quite mean what we think it means. Also, Type 8s can be kind of known for their anger. So today we're working with the liver meridian, which when that energy is unbalanced, we tend to experience a lot more anger. I also had a little bit of fun with the title, The Dragon, and so we do a bunch of the posture called the Dragon today. I also picked this because it's a little tough. These are no joke for your hips and your thighs today, and I think 8s are going to appreciate that, because I don't see them doing a lot of super chill yoga. So this is going to be you're going to feel this one in your body. Today, the only prop that I would suggest that you bring along are 2 blocks. And even if you don't have blocks, I don't really think that you're going to need them. I had to think about that there. You're probably fine without them. I would just suggest to have something to prop up a little bit in case you find that you'd like to do that today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy these videos, please like them so that I can look back and know which videos people prefer, and I can make a little bit more content based on that. If you haven't hit the little bell for notifications, please do that. That way you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. If you are already all set to go, please meet me back here in a comfortable seat, and let's jump right in.
Come to a kneeling seat. Bring the toes together and the knees wide. Sink your body back into a wide knee child's pose. If this is uncomfortable in your body today, sit up on something. We want to have the knees wide here to wake up the adductor muscles in the inner thighs for our practice today. The Enneagram is not static. You aren't just an 8 and that's it. Nuances to the Enneagram are wings, integration, and disintegration points, instinctual variance, and whether you are in a healthy, average, or unhealthy place. An average 8 finds self-sufficiency, financial independence, and having enough resources as important concerns. They are risk takers, hardworking, and tend to deny their own emotional needs. An average 8 dominates their environment up to and including others. An 8 at unhealthy levels can become hard-hearted, immoral, and potentially violent. Megalomania is present here. Some adjectives to describe healthy 8s, which are 8s at their best, include decisive, authoritative, self-assertive, self-confident, strong, and commanding. These folks are the natural leader others look up to. They may achieve true heroism and historical greatness. In Yin Yoga, we want to be especially mindful of how we come out of postures, so bring your knees in and your torso up nice and slow. Come to all fours. Bring the right foot to the inside of the right wrist. Check that your knee is above the ankle, not forward or behind. Slide the left leg back until you feel a nice stretch. Let your top of your foot rest on the floor if that is comfortable for your knee. For this dragon variation, we're going to remain about here, up on our palms. If you would like a little extra space today, bring blocks under your hands. Add a little padding if you feel the back knee needs it. Anytime in dragon you would like to build some heat, lift the back knee. But remember, this is yin, and you want to be able to hold the posture for at least 3 minutes. The passion or sin of a type 8 is lust. This is not sexual lust, but lust in the drive and desire for anything that makes them feel powerful. This can appear to be freeing for an 8, however, it tends to be more confining. This lust pushes an 8 to place themselves in situations they can assert themselves, or in unhealthy levels dominate over others. Lust moves an 8 from one thing to the next, in spite of the reality that we all need to stop and catch our breath. Bring the right foot across the midline and the right knee down to the ground by the right wrist. Shift your weight over to sit on the right hip, bringing the left leg around and resting on top of your leg. If you missed that transition, meet me in a seat with your right outer leg on the floor and your left leg stacked on top. Aim to stack the knees. If there is a lot of space between the knees, place a block or blanket between them. Play with how far or close your heels are to the hips. Stay upright or drape the torso over the legs. A block can help your head find rest here. In her book, The Enneagram, Helen Palmer writes, "The habitual preoccupations of the eights include control of personal possessions and space, and control of people who are likely to influence the eight's life, aggression and the open expression of anger, concern with justice and the protection of others, fighting and sex as a way of making contact, trusting people who can hold their own in a fight, excess as an antidote to boredom, late hours, heavy entertainment, binging, too much, too loud, too many. Difficulty in recognizing the dependent aspects of the self. When affected by others, can deny real feelings by withdrawal, but claiming boredom or by internally blaming the self for past misdeeds. An all or nothing style of attention which tends to see things in extremes. Other people appear to be either strong or weak, fair or unfair, with no middle ground. This style of attention can lead to not recognizing one's own weakness and the automatic denial of other points of view in favor of the single, legitimate opinion that is going to make the eight feel secure, or the exercise of appropriate force in the service of others. Be mindful about how you bring your torso up. Let the legs go long. Place the palms on the ground behind you as kickstands and windshield wiper your feet a few times. Come to all fours. Bring the left foot to the inside of the left wrist. Check that the left knee is over the ankle. Scoot the right knee back a bit until you feel a stretching sensation in your body. Take inventory of how this side feels. Maybe you are at the same depth as before. Maybe on this side you lose or add the blocks. Loving people can be hard, especially when we don't come at things the same way. Learning the type of people around you can help you speak love to them in a way they will understand. It can help you have compassion and empathy when they do things that you just don't understand or agree with. In her video, 10 Ways to Love an Enneagram 8, Abby Howe emphasizes how it is in an average and unhealthy 8's nature to be rather distrusting. Remember this and be absolutely true with your word. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you say something is important to you, prove it. 8's will see even seemingly small inconsistencies in your word as, at best, micro betrayals, but also probably collect these things as proof you are untrustworthy. It is hard for 8's to share their feelings. So when you get to this point in a relationship that 8's will share feelings with you, never use their feelings against them. 8's value honesty and transparency. If an 8 asks you how they look, they really do want the truth. Being truthful reinforces to your 8 that you are trustworthy. Bring the left foot across the midline and the left knee down to the ground by the left wrist. Shift your weight over to sit on the left hip, bringing the right leg around and resting on top of your left leg. Take whatever adjustments your body needs to find stillness in this shape. Fold over. I like to end these Yinneagram practices with some practical tips to take off the mat. 8's. I hope this doesn't come as a shock, but sometimes you can go overboard. Those around you are unlikely to address this. Give a trusted loved one permission to tell you when this is happening, and then be gracious with them and yourself. Remember that you may not be the sole owner of the truth. When speaking with someone, try to remember that it is possible you are wrong. Also, that the other person's opinion is just as valid as your own. Be mindful when you slip into black and white thinking. There are gray areas in our world, especially when dealing with other humans. Finally, and so very important, recognize that sharing feelings is a strength and requires bravery. This is true for others. It is not a weakness to show emotions. and this is true for yourself. This type of bravery may not come naturally, but it can be learned with practice and patience. Look for opportunities to show courage to the ones you love by being honest about your feelings. Gently bring your torso up. Let your legs go long. Place the palms on the ground behind you and windshield wiper your feet. Lay your back on the mat. Position the heels about hips width distance apart. Rock your hips from side to side gently. Roll your shoulders up toward your ears to the back and slide them down the spine. Let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Soften the eyes and the forehead. Let the muscles relax from the bone. Here are a few phrases or mantras to commit to your heart. It may be helpful to write them in your notes, on a mirror, or post-its to stick in visible places. I have listed them in the description below. I do not have to be strong to be loved. I will not be betrayed. It is okay to be vulnerable. Fear has no hold on me. I encourage and praise others. bring your focus back to your body. Wiggle just the toes. Roll the ankles. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your wrists. Roll over onto your side. Keeping your eyes closed, come up to a seat. Thank you for joining me for this Yinneagram journey. If you are not an 8, I hope this practice has helped you understand the 8s in your life a bit better. Flutter open the eyelids. 8s. I know you have gotten really good at protecting yourself. So good, you probably don't often realize that's what you're doing. There is a little you somewhere left to fend for themselves, waiting to be recognized. I hope someday you can reconnect. Thank you for teaching us how to be bold and brave. We really need those lessons sometimes. Bring your hands to prayer at the forehead. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Namaste.